Give me that scroll. So we got this new event, and we should we should just do this new event. I need to do this. I think it's started. I want to try to get a mystical scroll. You can't go wrong with a free mystical scroll, and well, it'll give us the opportunity to show the dungeon teams again, in case anybody's curious. What's up, Matt? What's up, Miles? So what's this about? Let's see. One mystical scroll sent to the inbox on February the 7th. What? What? We get it on the 7th? Oh my goodness. That's like so long. We had to wait a month to get our mystical scroll. What? What? Dude, this is like when you go to the store and you buy that really nifty electronics from like Newegg or something like that, and I mean it's like $99 after the $100 rebate, and you got to fill out a form to do the $100 rebate, and the $100 rebate takes like a month. That's silly. That's silly. We're gonna do the event tonight and get our scroll on February the 7th. Goodness gracious. Goodness. The what's up? What's up? Hey Gabriel. The so what we gotta do? We gotta do Rift of Worlds. We gotta tap strategy info and dungeon debate, and we have to write something. And we have to get above an A or an A plus. Let's see here. Make sure to check the reveal deck info box when you leave a post. Okay. You guys help me remember to do that. Dude, oh man, February the 7th. Seriously. February the 7th. Goodness gracious. Well, you know what? I got some mystical scrolls, and after we do the Rift dungeon, we'll summon a couple of these mystical scrolls that I have. Ooh. Oh, I'm on vacation, Wolfgang, and I think my work schedule has changed too. So I have plans to stream more frequently. Sometimes I take a break because I get really busy with work. But most definitely always on the weekends. But pretty soon I think I'm going to start popping on the evening for 30 minutes or an hour. Just do what have you. Oh, okay. So here's my team for Fire Rift Beast. Let's do it. And then when we're done, we'll show the runes, and we'll leave a funny comment if Comtuous will let us. That's a new name, Mr. Pedro Lazzaretti. What's up? You're a junior too. How can I use Leo in AO with Lucians? You use a Megan? You use like double Lucians, Leo, and a Megan, and you put will runes on everything. Like you put will runes on Megan, you put will runes on the two Lucians. You don't need will runes on Leo, and you make Megan reasonably fast. Okay, but you don't need her to be swift. You just like maybe will double shield or something reasonably fast, and then you just make your Lucians as slow as bloody possible, and you no speed. You just pump nothing but crit rate, crit damage, and attack. You don't need speed Lucians, and you might be able to soak up their first round. Like if you go after their attack bar booster, or whichever mob you think is going to move first and going to be dangerous, you try to hit them with Leo. If they got will runes, then maybe you survive that first wave until your Megan moves, and then once your Megan moves, your Lucians go in succession without a doubt. That's probably like the basic one I can come up with, Hey 4-0, just got Rakan today. Is there any good place in the beast raids and or raid? Yeah, man. Especially if he's one of the if he's one of your go-to nat 5s and you don't have some of these other, crazy mobs, he makes a great candidate for the front line and all of these Rift Beasts. Every single one. Like for this Rift Beast, I have my Water Kung Fu Girl and my Chow in the front line. But if you have a Rakan and that's one of your strong monsters, and you don't have like these crazy, nicely tanky luxury water tunes, you could certainly use them in the front of on fire, most certainly. Well, that was kind of we didn't get a lot of Brandon armor break on that run. Only a double S. Only a double S. But I'll take it. I'll take it. That team. Let's see. Our highest score we've gotten since they put up this whole make a comment thing has been 4,000 or 4 million rather. Strategy info. Dungeon debate, write, reveal deck info, and what are we gonna write? We gotta be silly. We gotta be silly. Oh, okay. Use Leo here. He is so good. I swear. Mad scores. You like my awesome comment? Everybody go find that. Give it a thumbs up. Okay. The runes on these guys, if anybody's curious. Water Kung Fu Girl is like vampire and tanky with hit points, like vampire blade, all damage dealing. Chow is now Violent Will, kind of tanky, high damage spec. He hits really hard. Wahi is of course Violent Blade on like crit damage build, but you gotta have good defense and HPs in order for her to stay alive. So if you don't have the runes to make her a damage build, then just give her a lot of attack, because she's got to have at least that many. That's on the low side, if you're using Wahi in the back. Stella is built for raids. She's like blade, determination, enhance, speed, attack, crit damage, with a chuck ton of hit points and good speed for R5 love. My favorite and the star of the show, Lapis, is just Rage Nemesis. I wish I had crit rate a little higher. The speed is really nice for this boss, because she gets like 2 turns in a row whenever she uses this skill, and it recovers 30% of the attack bar for every enemy killed. It gives her like a violent proc on this boss. And then Alicia has some fight runes, and she's speed, attack, crit damage. And that 3 million score was like a really low. Normally this team almost always pulls a triple S. Okay, so Ice Beast, highest score 3,736,000. This is what I no, that's not what I normally use. This is what I normally use right here. But I changed a rune on Bernard, and I'm wondering if he's going to be able to hang. Let's see. Can my re-rune Bernard still hang in the Water Rift Beast? What? I got to start preparing my comment for this one. I know what my comment for this one's going to be. So I'm using Lucian here as, attack power. You always want to, really, if you can, and you're shooting for like the highest scores, the attack power leader skills are the best to use in these beasts, if you have that luxury. But if you're not like close to end game, and your main objective is to just get a consistent completion and get like the S's and the double S's. If you're not like shooting for the triple S's, but you're more shooting for the single S's, the really consistent single S's and the double S's, definitely go with defense leader. Like either do attack power, defense, or if you're one of these crazy people that loves to rune stuff with low crit rate, which I don't do, but if you like to do that, then you can go with crit rate and dungeon leader skills. Like say you got like a Teshar, or you want to use your Theo. What's up, Dimitri? Don't use Leo in any Rift Beast. For sure. So definitely use your Bernard if you got him, and definitely use your Theo on this level if you got him. Unless you're making like an all-win team, you know. If you're making an all-win team, maybe the Wind Elf Archer, the Wind Elf Archer will be a good frontliner here because of his passive, and the Wind Magic Archer is awesome because she's like super consistent armor break and crazy good damage, and you can ruin her crit rate crazy low, and she still pumps out like crazy damage and adds a really consistent armor break for this dude. But with enough speed, with enough speed, you can bring your Theo and throw him there in the front line, and he's going to survive halfway through that third wave and then always go down near the end like that. And the rest of your monsters can generally clean up. I would make an honest recommendation for a lot of people that are trying to do this Rift Beast. It's possible if you have some okay HPs on your Theo or some okay defense, it's possible. It's kind of practical to use him on the front line because he'll survive the first two waves and he'll do some damage on the third wave, and then he'll just pop endure and take a dirt nap on the third one. And generally, if you got some good damage monsters in the back, because nothing takes damage really in the Ice Beast, right? The damage, the overall damage in the dungeon is really low. Theo and Water Kung Fu Girl and those monsters you really wouldn't think are tanky. Your Bernard, they make real great frontline candidates, so you can just throw all the nukers in this sort of setup. And you can have squishy nukers too. Like there's no need for all these HPs on Lucian and Stella and Homunculus. My Lucian is my Bernard is Swift Broken Set with plus 186 speed, and he survives no problem with that much HP and that much defense. My Theo has for a long time has been Rage, just because I'm not a big fan of using him in like Arena and Guild War so much. I'll probably go back to Violent, Violent or Rage. I would recommend. And then this Lucian is my dungeon Lucian. Okay, so he's speed tuned with my other Lucian, but he's not 100% crit, and he's got more HPs. This Lucian is more in tune for like dungeon, and he's the one I'm using in this setup because he's got less crit rate and more HPs. And then my homunculus is Wind Spec on Violent Shield for Necropolis Love, and he does a good job in that dungeon. What's up, Mutant Black? Okay, dungeon debate. Right. Bernard, if you got him. Woot. Complete. I think that's a pretty harmless comment. Wind. Let's put Verd in the back and Fire Monkey in the front. Miles, I think Sierra's good for R4 and R5 as long as you have a bunch of other tunes that are giving you good contributions, and you're at that point where the speed leader helps, okay, and you're not, and people aren't running a crit rate leader, you know. But like total in game, Sierra really doesn't fit in very well necessarily because the contribution's kind of low, and a lot of times the boss is going down before the bombs, you know, have the opportunity to go off, because her AI often, especially like after the first couple of rounds, she doesn't get the opportunity to blow up her bomb, and she plants it, and you got to wait 2 turns, and oftentimes they just don't last sometimes, you know. Dude, did we change some runes on Freya or something? She getting dangerously low on this one when normally she doesn't. Huh. Huh, huh, huh. Yeah, the water homunculus is really good for a lot of these rift beasts too, Paquito. I think overall for newer players that are coming up, I think water's kind of the easiest spec to go with, because you get a lot of cool utilities that you might not necessarily have, you know, because you might not be at that point where you got really nice other luxury Nat 5s and Nat 4s built that fulfill that, you know, CC or damage over time type role. So for this rift, generally what we go for is we try to have Freya goes in there, and she's used in the front line as like a crit damage build with just the right amount of HPs and defense to survive right into the start of that third wave. And then she goes down, does a sacrifice, and gives me that last heal that I need, that last big heal that I need to push through the third wave, so that it's like 100% consistent, and it's a fast run. Okay, like you can take a lot of healers into this rift dungeon and do just fine. Okay, but if I'm farming it, I also want the runs to be fast. And so I use Freya so that the runs are, I'm not having to watch so many heal animations, right? There's very little heal and buff animations that I actually have to watch, and it's just all damage. And Freya's really good for that, because she does that healing job right when it's needed, on point, right at that third wave, but really cuts the healing animations down. It allows me to rerun this dungeon over and over again for double S and triple S super consistently, faster. If you slot a bunch of healers, that's good. You can rack up scores and get good consistent clears, but those runs are taking significantly longer because you're adding all those little heal buff animations into the mix, you know. My Freya's, she's tuned for like dragons and this dungeon to have enough HPs to stay alive all the way through, but go take a nosedive and sacrifice right at the right time where you need her. And so like for dragon, she's got enough HPs and defense to survive through Zyros. Like the Zyros stage is never going to kill her. And she goes down to heal all my water monsters and on my dragon's run. And for this rift beast, she performs the same function. Just that right amount of HPs and defense, but yet damage build, where she puts out good damage, she increases everybody's attack bar, but she takes a nosedive right when I need her to take a nosedive. My bird is triple revenge, not fast, because of course you use him in dragons and you want him to be like the slower of all your monsters to get the most attack bar benefit. So he's double revenge nemesis rather. Speed, HP's crit rate, so he's like HP build. He's been that way for 2 years. Lexi is broken set. Focus broken set, just high damage. I I took her off violent just so I could use her in this dungeon, because every once in a while I would get an A plus, because she would get like a whole bunch of violent procs in a row and lose HPs, and she would die. And so I found taking her off violent was all that I needed to do to make the run 100% consistent. And then good old Shiwa is slow on attack, crit damage, rage build. And when this move hits, she will do so much damage, she'll just heal herself all the way up to full, even with the boss's debuff. It's pretty nice. And then Meiho Wang, I've done him vampire here, and it works great currently because I have way too much fun with this build in R5 and on arena offense. Triple Revenge. I love him on Triple Revenge because he can't get stunned, right? His passive makes it to where he can't get stunned, and so he's tank build. Like, he's HP, crit damage with a reasonable amount of HPs and a reasonable amount of defense. And yeah, man, I like to use him in arena a lot of times against teams that I know that are going to do like crazy AoE stuff, and he just sits there and counter revenges stuff all day and stuns them. It's fun, and it's useful in these dungeons like this one, because he'll power up really fast. He'll do a decent amount of damage with this build, but yet he's also tanky enough to survive in the front line if your runes and your towers and stuff are on point. Oh, yeah, Zachary, you could certainly rune Xiaolin different for Rift. When the Rift dungeons first came out, I didn't use her on Vampire. I used her on Violent, and it worked out just great. Now, you can't put her in the front line. You put her in the back line. But yeah, she's awesome in a lot of these Rift beasts, even on Violent or Rage. Rage would probably be optimal, right? Violent runes aren't so great. Yeah, if you have her and you don't have good vampire runes, I would say throw her in the back line and try to get like a rage set on her, or some other set that's just gonna pump her damage up, you know? Right. Freya is the best monster in the game. Gimme thumbs up. Oh, what? I don't want it censored. There we go. I like that one. Complete. All right. Very nice. What happens when you inspect it? Do you see my highest score, or do you just see the score that we got? 38.33. Okay, so you see the highest score. That's cool. Cool. I hope you caught Shiwa's rune, Steven. Rage. You could use her Violent too. Like if you're using her for Necro, Violent is good. She works out Rage and Necro too. I can use her in Necro, no problems on Rage. Because she's just one of the best multi-hitters in the game. Light Beast. So again with the Fire Monkey in the front, but for this setup, we're gonna go with Defense Leader. Okay. Now, I could put Lucian in the back in place of, say, there's a whole bunch of different setups I could do for this one, but this right here is without fail 100% is always, it's just like never going to fail, and it's always going to pull like double S and triple S generally. And I don't think I'm going to make an adjustment to this one. We'll just run this one. What's up, Anthony? The thing about these Rift Beasts that I don't think a lot of people still understand yet is the new determination and enhance runes are so nice for farming R5. I don't know if you guys seen my R5 team, but a lot of my R5 monsters I re-runed with these new runes from the Rift Beast, because they're so awesome in the setting where you're levying 5 monsters, and stats like HP and defense are so important. And the fight runes and the determination runes and the enhance runes and even the accuracy and the resist runes are somewhat super useful in R5. And I've had some people say, "Oh, but it's so hard to farm this content to get those runes." I kind of disagree with that. I mean, when it takes a while, okay, but when you do craft these runes, you're going to get reasonably good ones. Like every third rune you craft is going to be a 5-star or a 6-star that's worth powering up, and you could slot into roll monsters for an R5 team. They don't have to be the greatest runes in the world to throw on an R5 team and boost everybody's defense or boost everybody's HPs or attack across the board. I made this recommendation a while ago, kind of on the side, but if I were like a mid-game player and I were thinking about putting together an R5 team, I would probably set aside some very specific role monsters like Colleen, Bella, Kona, etc. And I would go out and I'd farm this Rift content for a couple of weeks and just craft some of these new runes. And as soon as I got some 5-stars or some 6-stars that were semi decent, I'd power them up and throw them on my Bella, Colleen, Kona for my R5 team. Because there's no easier way to just contribute, do an awesome job in R5, farm it all day, even with the big guys, than just have some basic role monsters that you know are going to perform in R5, like Bella, Colleen, and Kona, and stack them all up with like determination, fight, and enhance runes. They don't even have to be the greatest ones, You bring up a good point. It does cost mana to craft those runes and then power them up. But I really don't see. Yeah, it's not gonna give you mana like, say, farming dungeons would. You're not gonna have a mana income, but I wouldn't say it's a negative impact on your mana. I think by the time you said, okay, I'm gonna farm these new runes, and by the time you were done and you had those new runes and they were powered up, you wouldn't lose mana. You would just not have gained any. Whereas if you're farming dragons or giants or necropolis, by the time you get that dope rune and you power it up to 15 and you have it powered up, you still got like extra mana in reserve. So we've seen the runes on everyone but the Light Barbaric King, and I have him currently on Rage because this guy is all about like not having multiple hits, right? And pretty much everybody in this whole levy is just a hard-hitting, single hit hard-hitting monster, okay? With the exception of Stella, who is technically a multi-hitter, but she's there because the armor break and the brand gives us such good scores, and there's really no better substitution for me right now in terms of consistent armor break and consistent brand than a Stella with a really good amount of accuracy, and a lot of hit points, so she's never going to die in the back. But that's another reason why Theo has a rage set on right now. Hey, more damage. I'm not using him in an arena or guild wars necessarily right now. So he's got a rage set on because that makes him better for Rift Beast. Strategy info, dungeon debate, right. I like the barbaric kings here a lot. Thank you, thank you. All right. Last one. Dark Beast. Hey, it's my guildmate Popo. What's Popo got to say? That's an absurd score on Dark Beast, Popo. That's an absurd high score on Dark Beast. That's 4.4 million. Oh my goodness. Should we just do this? Or let's do this. So just so we can have some variety and change it up, and it's a 1,000,000% consistent. Okay, let's do. Then we're gonna need. We'll put like a fun nuker slash brander slash armor breaker in the back. Probably just throw Zalin in there, because why not? Lots of multi-hit, super amounts of defense, good brand and armor break. That in terms of like 100% clear with a really high success rate of double S and triple S, it's probably going to be this team, you know. I think if I were farming it over and over again, which I'm not anymore currently, but if I were farming it over and over again, this is what we'd go with right here. On Europe, top comment has 5 million damage. Yeah, that's pretty nice. You can do some sick stuff with the monsters that do damage based on how many negative effects are on the boss. Zalin is an example of one of them, you know. When like if you stack up Zalin and the fire homunculus and say the fire polar queen, you can just throw up some really outrageous scores on these dungeons. Well, I think one of these days I might goof around with it. And respec my my homunculus to fire, and put some really slow rage runes on my fire polar queen and pair them up with my Zalin, and just run it a whole bunch and rack up some 4 millions for the shits and giggles. To achieve those kind of scores, you basically have to stack up those mobs like Zalin, fire homunculus, and because you see how much Zalin did right there, 6 times 50k, you know. You can definitely rack up the scores if you start stacking up those mobs, you know. When should a new player be trying this rift stuff? After you got R4 on lockdown, okay? After you got Auto Dragons and Auto Necropolis on lockdown, okay? And you're just thinking about you're thinking about making a good stable R5 team, and maybe having a couple of luxury runes to go with like some cleave setups. Like maybe you want some fight runes for like a Lucian or something one day. That's a good question. You know, these Rift Beasts aren't really something you need to get into. I mean, they're not a requirement, but I'll say it again and again. The fight and the determination and the enhanced runes are so overpowered in R5, and nobody really realizes it. You don't see that all over Reddit or all over YouTube. But I'm just going to throw out there and quite literally say, hey, if everybody stacked up determination, fight, and enhance runes for R5, they would find that their R5 teams would improve in consistency and improve in speed. And I think it would be smart for a mid game player breaking into the high end to think about putting together some auto A plus, auto S teams for this dungeon, for these dungeons, farm them for a little bit, and craft. You really only need to craft about 20 or 30 of each rune, and you got everything you need for your R5 sets, because they're all 2-set bonuses, right? Let's go make our comment, and runes on Panda right now. I got him off violent. He's just on blade focus broken set with crit damage, crit rate, lots of defense, kind of slow with decent HP and some good accuracy. I wanted good accuracy on him because you really don't need him on violent runes for Rift Beast, and you really don't need him on violent runes for R5. Okay, and so if I had to make a recommendation for him, if you're using him for dungeon content like Necro, R5, and these Rift Beast, save your violent runes for arena monsters and stuff. Don't go violent on him. It's not necessary. It's definitely not necessary. It's so easy to craft these runes, and once you get, like, seriously, you go in here and you could craft 20 determination runes, and in just 20 crafts you'll have all you need for your whole R5 team. Why is that? How? Well, think of it. You craft 20 of these, you craft 20 of these, you craft 20 of these, okay? And they're all 2 sets, right? It's so easy to make bonuses and put together whole rune sets with 2 sets, right? You don't need violent runes for R5, right? And so I guess the point I'm trying to make is it's not like when you're trying to accumulate violent runes and you're trying to accumulate swift runes and fatal runes and stuff. They're much harder to make because you got to put a 4 set together. On those, you just got to put a 2 set together, and you're getting the goodness. We got to go leave our comment for Dark Beast. Strategy info, dungeon debate, right. What do we want to comment for Dark Beast? What do we want to comment? Fire Panda is hero sauce. Sausage sauce. And did I think by default we made our monsters and stuff viewable. Cool. So we completed the event to get our scroll on February the 7th. Let's summon our 5 mystical scrolls. Oh, I'm gonna go spend. What are we gonna get? We're gonna get a wind scroll. I'm gonna get a wind scroll with guild points, and we'll summon a wind scroll too. Do we have anything new in our inbox? Do we have anything new? You should give me my mystical scroll now and not on February the 7th. All right. Let's do this. Wind scroll. Aw. And then 5 mystics. I think we will get a new homunculus after this event. I want to support homunculus in a bad way, I really do. I think it would just I I think it would be something fun that would allow the mid game or people breaking into the high game, kind of like what the what the attack homunculus has done for a lot of people. You know, giving people that easy mob that's going to help them clear TOA, or that easy mob that's going to be like their damage unit in R5. Or that easy mob that's going to help them clear dragons or giants or necropolis or something like that, you know. And I think support homunculus should be next, so that mid game players breaking into the end game can clear TOA hard and can auto necro and auto dragons and stuff like that. Think that would be super awesome, super fun sauce. Give us a fire aerial homunculus. Yeah, some sort of, well, you can't use them on arena defense, you know. So if you can't use them on arena defense, then what he would have to serve some nifty role that would help people in dungeons. Couldn't be like a nemesis healer. Couldn't be like a nemesis healer. Do you think there will be new fusion coming soon? Oh, dinner's ready. All right. A-Lings. New fusion. I really don't think there's going to be a new fusion coming soon. Okay, but if there is, I'm gonna call Water Desert Queen. Just because I think for a lot of people she would be like Fire Panda, right? She's a good monster to use for like a mid game players to fuse up and use in like a lot of boss situations, you know, like dragons, R5, Rift Beast, Arena. Kind of like Vero's useful everywhere, and Fire Panda is used for everywhere. I don't think there's going to be a new fusion coming anytime soon. I think Homunculus will do something different besides fusion, you know? People are tired of grinding. People are tired of saving fodders and farming essences. They're going to give us something new, you know, kind of like what they did with Real-Time Arena and Rift Beast. I don't think necessarily they're going to give us another fusion. That would be kind of like, it'd be cool, but we need something new, you know? If I get a B in Water Rift every time, should I farm Homunculus and I get all the necessary items from that one? If you're farming skill ups for your Homunculus, all you got to do is pick. Even if you need to spend a couple extra crystals or use your respec ticket, think to yourself, which dungeon do I get the highest scores in, right? Which for most people is fire, right? Most people tend to get the highest scores in fire. Spec your homunculus fire if you're getting the highest scores in fire. Farm fire. Skill up the fire homunculus. And then once you get all the materials and once you get them all skilled up, then respec them again to whatever element you want. So yeah, that's the mistake I made. Ooh, another mystical scroll. That's the mistake I made when I first made my homunculus. Is I made him wind from the start, and I farmed the wind rift beast to skill him up. And I should have just started out with fire and farmed fire rift beast because it's like a million times easier, you know. The homunculus is definitely worth farming because water homo can be your ticket to TOA hard clears, or fire or wind homo could be your ticket to necro runs. Water homo can be your ticket to necro runs. Yeah, he's definitely worth it, Pinky. Definitely. Even for like a mid game player, even if it's taking you a while to farm those mats, do it. You know, just be patient and do it because he is overpowered for a lot of content. He could fill that role and help you with your auto team to get you your runes. Most certainly. Well, hope it was kind of interesting. We just want to do the event so we can get our scroll on the 7th and show people, you know, the teams that I use for Rift Beast. Hang out a little bit tonight. I will probably not do streams for the next 2 days, but I will certainly return this weekend with some fun stuff, some fun silly stuff, some hangout times. Thank you everybody for coming and hanging out, and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening.